Hi guys, good morning. Good morning. The coffee. Going. Yes, I am here. So one thing that keeps popping up of late, and really garners my attention, is that the whole truther community, I hate that word actually, you know what, I'm a truther. You know, people love to label themselves and put themselves in a box. It's like, I'm in a box and the box says this and the box says that, and it's like, so if you're going to be in a box with a label on, you won't be able to think beyond it. In fact, the notion that there is no box is something you're not going to be able to digest. So I'm really wary of people who call themselves, I'm woke, or I'm a truther, or I'm a light worker. What, you're an electrician? I mean, like, what the fuck, you know? When it comes to myself, I always say, do you know what, I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. I'm not going to call myself anything. I can feel myself. I can feel myself in my heart more than anything now. Because what I have noticed, it's a process that started, I think at the end of April, was the heart activation. And again, those are just words, of course. So something here, and I felt it very strongly, and I keep that has been, well, that's just how it's been. It's all to do with our heart and releasing shitloads of grief. The grief, in my experience, lies beyond the fear and beyond the rage and beyond the, well, it just lies beyond. Right. So in my case, it's somewhere in the kitchen. And that's what's been coming up for me. You know, and we're just working through our process, people. And you'll find often enough that nobody can do it for you and nobody can help you with it, really. In fact, I feel and have felt these last kind of 6 weeks and not really having a great deal of interaction with other people, because I find that their energetics just get in my way. It's like, no, don't want to know. So, you know, I'm having to set really strong boundaries, because there's still quite a lot of people, and I know they don't do this on purpose, I used to do it as well, that just encroach upon my territory. They don't do that because they're bad or because they're evil. I have a person that lives down the road from here, and she's a lovely person, but she does that. It's like, oh, come around for a chat. And it's like, well, I'd love to, but I know that you can't help me and you wouldn't be able to understand what I'm talking about, so it's pointless me coming around for a chat. I need to be by myself, so thanks for the offer, but, you know, and then you feel like you're being rude, but, well, tough. This is a time where we're going to have to get comfortable with behaving in a way that we have not felt comfortable behaving in the past, because it's all been programming, you know, societal programming, as in, this is how you behave, you have to be nice, you can't upset people, so you're a perennial slave tending to the needs, or the emotional needs of other people. And considering the fact that most people are like emotional bottomless pits, it's just fucking bullshit. It's just slavery and abuse, and it really fucks us up, and no wonder we have so much fucking rage. That's got to stop. For me, it's like, alright, not doing it. So anybody that feels the need to talk to me now or be with me, it's like, I can't do it. I'm on my own here. I need to be by myself, because that's just how it is. People that don't get that are people that are not doing their own work, because they just don't get it. They think they can help other people. They're still in rescue mode, or they're still there, just not getting it at all, really. Having to say no to people, and then there's your shadow thinking, oh, but they're going to get upset, they're going to get upset. And I'm like, yeah, let them. It weeds out the weak. It sorts the chaff from the wheat, or the wheat from the chaff, or whatever, you know. It really does, people, because it's time for us to get rid of all the energies, the electromagnetic disturbances in our life. It really is. You know. So yeah, something that keeps coming up is all these people that continually reiterate the shit we're all in, right? I think it's doom addiction. I call it doom addiction because I think that's what it is. It's like, we're all fucked, we're all fucked, we're all fucked. They continually talk about what the World Health Organization is doing, what Bill Gates is doing, what so-and-so is up to, and the cabal is up to, and the this and the that and the that. And they're completely just focused on that. They call themselves truthers, or light workers, or both, or whatever. And yet they're actually the opposite, because what they're doing is they're just spreading a message of despair and hopelessness and fear and, oh, it's all a done deal. Now, they're agents of darkness. They're not of the light in any way or shape or form whatsoever, because they are external representations of Wetico's gaslighting nonsense ways. That's really what they are. This is typical of Wetico. It's like, oh yeah, if you do this, then you know that's of the light, and that's how you're going to get somewhere. When in fact, no, that's not how you're going to get anywhere at all. It's typical. It's like, oh, we're truthers and we're woke and we know what we're doing and we're light workers and we're helping and ooh and generally they're very ego-centered as well and quite superficial. And it's always the same. And not even that long ago I was still listening to these channels every now and then and whatnot. And sometimes, yes, we do tune into, like, say, the Corbett Report. I'll tune into it a little bit because there's something, a snippet, something I need. But I never follow anything, and I never follow anyone. I always follow my heart, because that's where it's at. And it's like that for everyone. Because we're soul travelers, because we know the truth. We know because it lies in our heart. Our heart is where it's at, people. It's the gateway to transcending, to reset, to all of it. It all lies in the heart. So these doom addicts are really just minions of the dark side, one way or another. And I'm really only attracted to people and to the message that, well, yeah, things are dark and they feel dark. We feel dark. We do feel stuck. We do feel increasingly as if we're not getting anywhere. But that's a fucking lie. I know this. Don't take your truth from other people. Don't take it from me, even. Right? Don't do it. I'm just me, and I just do these little videos and have this little channel because it helps my process. Having this channel's helped me a lot, because I watch my own videos and I think, oh god, oh dear, or like, oh yeah, that's good and that's right and who. But you really get the gist of yourself when you watch your own videos, you know, and that's a good thing. It helps me to process my own inner shit, you know. So if anybody gets any benefit from it, from these little videos, then that's a great thing, you know. But you know, people, your truth lies within you. You don't get it from external sources. You know, you might get some validation, and some of us, because we're so worried and frightened, and because we are on a soul level so disenfranchised and disempowered, we're like, oh, I don't know anything, and I can't trust myself, and I can't trust anybody else either, and oh. And when you don't trust your own process, you start to not trust other people's process. That's when you start to become a fixer. Like, oh, you must listen to me because I've got things to tell you. that will sort your life out. You need to listen to me. But in fact, when people come at me like that, I always know, no, I don't want to listen to you because you don't trust yourself. Because people that trust themselves know that they can trust other people to walk their path, to take their journey, to go through their process, you see. And I know all of this because I myself go through this periodically, where I feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going. And then, when I feel that way, I start to doubt other people's ability to walk their path as well. Everything I find now, a bit rambly again, people, you know, you're like, but yeah, and it's just like the external world is but a mirror to us. And one thing that's come to me very strongly of late is that if we continue to take it personally, we ain't gonna fucking move much. We stay stuck in the victimhood trap. They're doing it to me, they're torturing me. Evil always wins. It's just a sick, sadistic game, and there is a carrot on a stick, and we're never going to get anywhere. It's natural, but it is par for the course where you have those feelings and those doubts where you think it's all fucked and we're never ever going to get anywhere. That does happen. Especially when you're really deep in a process of uncovering some heavy duty shit, you know. Because it temporarily fogs up your ability to tune into yourself, to really get it, to remember, you know, like, yeah, okay, I am a powerful creator being. It's like all of a sudden you feel like completely fucked and you can't remember your connection, your communion. It's like, no, the evil always wins, that's what it is, yeah. But if you think about, and this is why I keep a journal, if you think about where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, and what you understood then, what you saw then, what you experienced then behaviorally, etc., you'll know that you've made great headway. And I always advocate going back to the past temporarily and having a look and, oh yeah, right, I remember, and see how much you've learned, and realize that evil wouldn't like you to learn these things, not at all. So evil doesn't always win, in fact quite the opposite. I was showing something recently, and the Green Wizard, Ducky, he always goes on about the cosmic joke, the joke. Now, no doubt that has different meaning perhaps for him, but what it, you know, that is profound. But for me, what I was showing was that whilst we're here in this realm, we think of evil as this big, looming, bad, like, you know, like fucking Mordor, that big eye, you know, and like, right? But what I was showing was the joke is that ultimately evil is neither here nor there in the great scheme of things at all, people. It is but a tool, and that's all it ever was. And we decreed it to be so because we came from a place where the dual energies, the yin, the yang, call it what you will, the up, the down, the black, the white, the left, the right, you know, operates in unison, in harmony at all times, thus giving shape to creation. That is what we would call magic from this wonky perspective, but over there at home where we came from, that is the state of affairs. That's natural, that is how things work. It's beautiful and it's totally amazing. And then the fall happened and we decided to take the dark side, which is in unison, in harmony at home, and there's no worries, but to take it slightly out of alignment, and so it becomes dysfunctional, and hence evil is born. And we did that on purpose, because without evil we would not be able to be here and have this experience, people. Now you could say, well, I don't want to be here, I don't want to have this experience, I'm really suffering. To that I said, well, yeah, I know, Believe me when I say that, and I'm not saying this lightly, and I'm not saying this for egotistical reasons, but I really have suffered a horrendous lot, especially these last 5 years. I know other people that are suffering horrendously right now, even more than I, and it's absolutely appalling. And I'm sure you're there thinking, well, what the fuck? Shut up. How dare you say I came to, I chose to be here. But I also was shown, and I've been shown this many times, that we did choose to come here, that we are here to have this experience, because to come from a place of eternal harmony and flow, perfection, as the Borg would say, and then to fall into this place, to have this experience, we couldn't have had it any other way. It gives us something incredible. We cannot change the world, but our world changes forever. It literally is so rewarding for some reason. On the plane that we came from, on the electromagnetic bandwidth that we came from, home, call it what you will, it's like, yes, totally, and we get it. So the joke is that you gotta look at it as a work of art in a way, and that evil were merely the crayons that we created in order to make the drawing. It is that. It is no more and it is no less than that, people. And you can say, well, yeah, but we live in a world and look at what's happening, what the cabal's doing to these children and this and that. And I say, well, yeah, but that isn't real. And then people start to get upset. How can you say that? You're invalidating their experience and ooh and ah. And it's like, well, start to pay attention to your reality. Really start to pay attention. And you will soon realize that, contrary to popular belief, this is not real. No. You are here having an experience, but what is here? Exactly. I mean, we are omnipresent, actually. This is a dream, it's an illusion, alright? And we chose this, we chose to give it a twist and call it evil. And on the external plane it manifests in all kinds of ways, different nuances of darkness, right? And that is, yeah, that's part of our experience, people. So the joke is that evil is really ultimately here to serve us, believe it or not. But of course, it brings me back to the doom addicts. Just be wary of that, people. Anyone that perennially talks. There was a guy, Vernon something or other. He's this old geezer and a writer. And he sounds like an intellectual. He has all the vocabulary. So he's like an authority figure, and people listen and go, yes, he knows what he's talking about because he has a large vocabulary. And it's like, well, actually, he's a bit like David Icke. First of all, he starts off by telling us how utterly fucked we all are, and the forces of darkness are so powerful. They're doing this and they're doing that. And a lot of the stuff he was saying, like he was going on about a school where kids were being, they had these tracing apps or whatever on all the kids, but this was a school, and he was like, they're going to do this to all the kids and all the people and everywhere. And then they were saying they're going to widen all the pavements in all the cities throughout the world because so that people can continue to social distance and shit like that. And I'm like, oh man. And then at the end, but we will win because we will all stand together and we'll get up off our sofas. And I'm like, okay, that's exactly what David Icke always used to say. It's like, right, we're all fucked, we're all doomed, and evil is this massive, powerful, oh wow, we're so fucked. And the only way that we are going to be victorious is if asses leave seats. And I'm thinking, right, okay, do I see any unity? Am I waiting for the NPCs to kind of finally get together and for us all to get together and force evil out? It's like, oh man, what it wants to suck us back into the idea that this is all real and that the only way to defeat evil is to fight it. Wetico has many tricks up its sleeve. And that's one of them, people. See, evil, if we continue to take it all personal, right? If we continue to believe that we have enemies and that they're doing it to us and that we're victims, and basically thereby believing that we're powerless and worthless, then okay, that's what you're going to get. You're going to be stuck on that level, and that is what will play out. Well, fair enough, some people no doubt want that. They need to go there. So leave them to it. I, myself, I'm not doing that because I sense more and more that the only way out is through. But yes, love, the power of love, which is not Barry White or Marvin Gaye or whatever. It's an energy. I call it the force, you know, like in Star Trek. May the force be with you, whatever, you know. We're Jedi's, people, alright? So we don't have to do that. We don't have to live in fear. We don't have to believe that evil's all powerful, because you see, we created evil. We gave it form so that it could be an impetus for us to have this experience. Play around with that if you like. And if that really pisses you off, then it's time for you to address your doom addiction, perhaps. Right? These people are an external manifestation of something within us that believes itself to be powerless, that wants to be a victim, that takes everything personal. Because the minute you stop taking it so personal, and I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, because we shift in and out of that, in and out, in and out. So when shit really hits the fan, you do feel like a victim. You do feel like this is personal. It's attacking me. It hates me. But in a sense, you hate yourself, and so you're manifesting that. It's an external representation of something within you. And I think that really ultimately is what reality is. So, you know, if you think about it, everything that's happened to you up to this point has led you to where you are now. And you've done the work. You've introspected and introspected and introspected. And this last year, or the last 2 years really, 3 years, whatever, have been incredibly intense. And we've been through a shitload of, it's been incredibly tough. But I think it's fair to say that exponentially we have made some massive discoveries. We have had revelations. And we have transcended in so many different ways. So many different programs and traumas and whatnot. You know, we have emerged, and we will continue to do so, you see, because that's why we're here. And I know things are beginning to shift. I think some of us at least are beginning to understand that love is what it's all about. This is a journey of love. We are warriors of love. We are whatever you want to call yourself. It doesn't really matter, but to allow ourselves to let go of this victim attitude, you know, to finally see that we can receive ourselves and love ourselves as we are, you know, wonkiness and all. That we're not guilty of anything, that we always were pure and innocent, that we can forgive and let go and surrender and be. And just feel that love. I mean, I feel it so much now, every day, and it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's very deep and it's whole. I feel surrounded by it, and it is within me, you know. It's like the Gnostic texts. The kingdom of God is within you and all around you. Well, I don't like God and I don't like kingdoms. This is very patriarchal. So the queendom of the Great Mother is within us and all around us. I'd go with that. It is true, I feel. Our imagination, people, is a powerful tool. I feel that as well. And we're only just now beginning, perhaps, to find our footing with it. But it is a creating tool. and it's been hijacked. Why do you think they love to stick children in front of computers and televisions and whatnot? It kills their imagination, or rather it goes latent. If they're sold, it won't kill it, but it will go latent. Our imagination, so if you think about these doom addicts, they are people that have no imagination at all. And I do come across these people that really just have no imagination, and it's like, wow, how do you cope? So it's like, right, it's all bad and that's all there is, and ooh, and oh, and we have to get together, and ooh, we have to fight evil, and it's like, oh God, please. What I say is, take your attention away from all of that, from what Bill Gates is about to do, or what fucking, whatever they're up to, whatever it looks is looming on the horizon, right? Because it does that, you think, oh, but then some years go by, and it's like, oh, but it never happens. I've noticed this many, many times. And you know, be aware, people, that our consciousness is powerful. So don't allow it to be hijacked by this bullshit. Instead, take ownership of your consciousness and your imagination and start to play around with that. It's a muscle that has not been used a lot. So we need to start flexing the muscles of our imagination and start to imagine what kind of world you would like to live in, what you would like to see, what you would like to experience. You know, and play around with that. We have absolutely nothing to lose. We can sit here and feel defeated and give in to doom addiction. And, you know, we've been programmed and traumatized exactly to that end, because it is in what we create with that type of consciousness that the Wetico lives. Right? Hell consciousness. It is with the other consciousness which is being born now, in my humble opinion, the consciousness of love, that we create the new. And we have to take ownership back. We have to take our sovereignty back. We have to own our fucking power. And we have got it. The power of our imagination. Right? I guess that's all for today, a short one. I haven't done a video for a bit because I really have been flat out with processing and purging and whatever. It's been intense. But, you know, let's own our power. What good is it? You got all these people who sit around about talking how powerful they are. And then it turns out they're just doom addicts talking about how bad it is and what's going to happen. It's like, what the fuck? So that's the external world showing us what bullshit looks like. And it says, don't go that way. Instead, start pondering, start imagining beauty and goodness and belonging and love and true well-being, true health, true abundance, true prosperity, true creativity. Imagine. Go wild. Alright?